Hi, I'm Rob Parnell and this is Right Now. Now, before I get into the article, I just wanted to update you on a couple of things. I was going to do a newsletter last week on the road, because we were travelling. I even did some establishing shots, but what with looking after the pets and the bad weather, I seem to run out of time. It's a shame because I keep meaning to film stuff, especially these newsletters on location, just to mix things up and make them more interesting to watch. Anyway, lots of new stuff coming up. I'm just finishing off a video course on productivity called Super Success 101. See below for specific links or just look me up on Udemy and Vimeo for my latest video courses. Plus, I've got an all-new novel coming out, All the Right Reasons. It'll be on Amazon soon. And an album of my best songs, Never Too Late, which I'll be releasing later this year with much to-do and fanfare. Look out for news about that too. Coming to an email box near you. Okay, now here comes the article. Now, my subscribers often ask me if I know of any particular authors that show how they took their first draft and made them into the highly polished versions you see in the shops. Well, I can only think of a couple. Stephen King, in On Writing, includes a rough draft of a paragraph and gives the reader an indication of how he goes about editing it and making it tighter. Cutting out words, changing phrases, generally improving the work. All very illuminating, and I recommend you read it. Incidentally, people were so intrigued by Mr. King's spontaneous example that he felt forced to turn it into a full-blown story, which became a movie. It was called 1408. I see also James Patterson has a masterclass on fiction writing out these days. I've been meaning to get to it, just for research, of course. Anyway, the only other person I could think of was Ken Follett. I read a book once by Al Zuckerman, which included various drafts of Ken's work as he edited his manuscripts to a publishable standard. So I took a look at Ken's website, and on that I found a gem. A masterclass on writing a bestseller. And this is from a man who's had a few, and if anyone knows how it's done, it's probably him. What I found intriguing was that Ken seemed to think that there was indeed a formula for writing a blockbuster novel. And so does Al Zuckerman, one of his highly respected agents, a guy who actually guides authors through the process of writing best-selling novels. So rather than have you wade through books and websites trying to find elusive information, I thought I'd present what these guys say about writing a blockbuster novel by presenting the formula here. Woohoo! The formula. Number 1. Come up with a scenario whereby 2 or 3 central characters are engaged in a life and death struggle to overcome a huge problem. The bigger the better. Number 2. Think through the scenario and the setting, the characters and their dilemma, and ask yourself, has this been done before? If so, discard the idea and go back to number 1. Number 3. Write down 10 bullet points that will comprise the meat of the story. Number 4. Expand the bullet points until you have a 25 to 40 page outline of the story told in the present tense, introducing all of your characters and all of the story in the right sequence. Each paragraph should represent a significant plot point. Number 5. Show this outline to anyone and everyone who will read it and make comments. This might be friends, agents, publishers, the man who collects the garbage, anyone. Make note on their comments and adjust the story accordingly. Ken Follett suggests that this process of creating the ultimate novel outline should take anything up to a year to complete. Number 6. Write the first draft. Make sure you have a significant story turn every 4 to 6 pages. I told you it was a formula. Adhere to this rule. Too many story turns will confuse the reader, but too few and the reader will get bored. Number 7. Repeat the process mentioned in number 5 with the first draft. Make adjustments accordingly. This should take between 6 months and a year to get right. The first draft may take a month or 2, but the rest of the time is spent rewriting to make the novel perfect. The writing. Now, the most important aspect of this formula is that you don't approach it necessarily as a writer. No, you approach it as a storyteller first. The writing must be crystal clear, only concerned with story. If there's ever a passage that smacks of good writing, you must immediately delete it. Because when you're writing a blockbuster, you're not in the business of impressing anybody with your writing skills. Your text should be transparent, totally clear and focused on just telling the story. There should be no barrier between the reader and the story. There should be no author intruding on the text. And the writing should never get in the way of the characters, their actions, and the ultimate resolution of their agendas. Because many writers make the mistake of thinking that merely being a good writer is an end in itself. It's not. It's merely the beginning. The ability to write well is one thing, but the ability to rewrite, edit, alter and change everything from the slightest bit of punctuation to the overall theme of a novel without so much as a sigh is the sign of a true blockbuster novelist. So, now you know how it's done, go for it. Keep writing.